I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich, okay? We need to get out there, use your weapons, and rip Washington apart.
It's worse than the Cold War, because if the situation will develop in the way it is now, I am afraid it will end up in a very, very bad outcome.
Spell that out. What do you mean by a very bad outcome and worse than the Cold War?
A real war. Worse than the Cold War is a real war. It will be the last war in the history of the mankind.
You are saying that the fallout from the Salisbury poisoning could lead to a real war? How so?
Not the Salisbury poisoning, but all the actions, you see, because the pressure, the United States saying, you are saying that the pressure will continue. What are you going to achieve? If you are going to achieve the regime change, it's useless. Actually, you are cornering Russia. And to corner Russia is a very dangerous thing.
Good morning, everyone. It is April 8th, 2018. I'm Eric. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all well. While people out there are sensationalizing the so-called opiate crisis, the so-called mass shooting crisis, and so on and so forth, worrying about the deaths caused by these things. They completely ignore the fact that the death caused by government in comparison to all those things combined is astounding. The number, the sheer magnitude of how many people government kills. They don't mention anything about the number of deaths caused by the mistakes of the medical establishment. They make no mention of the deaths caused by all the drunk drivers out there, which is something that is legal. See, they don't mention these things, but they focus in on minute, petty shit while ignoring the bigger picture. So, in my video today, I'm going to go over the number one killer of man, which is government. This comes from Hawaii.edu, power/power kills note 1h.htm. So it's from the study conducted by the University of Hawaii. One thing we should do is get some perspective on the totality of how many people have been killed by government. Okay? Just to give perspective on this incredible murder by government, if all the bodies were laid head to toe, with the average height being 5 foot, then they would circle the earth 10 times. Also, this democide murdered 6 times more people than died in combat in all the foreign and internal wars of the century, that being the 20th century. Finally, given popular estimates of the dead in a major nuclear war, this total democide is as though such a war did occur, but with its dead spread over a century. That's how many people have died at the hands of government. They have, since the study was put out, they have revised the numbers. None of these numbers have gone downward. They've all risen significantly. So, just to give you an example, among all the democide estimates appearing in this book, some have been revised upward. I have changed that for Mao's famine, 1958 to 1962, from 0 to 38 million. And thus I have had to change the overall democide for the PRC 1928 to 1987 from 38,702,000 to 76,702,000. So, about double. A little over. I think as time goes by, we'll find that these numbers are even more incredible. And I know the random viewer might think that, hey, I live in the United States of America, and our government would never do such a thing. They would never intentionally murder massive amounts of its own population. And I would like to point you to the numerous massacres committed by the government over its history. I would have to beg to differ and say that the likelihood is that is their intent. It is their intent to kill massive amounts of Americans, and not just Americans, but many, many others. Keep in mind, the goal is to have a population of about 500 million. And I know it's an incredible number, considering there's more than 7 billion on the planet. Right? That means, 95+% of the people currently occupying the planet Earth will have to die. So, over the years, they've developed technologies that kill you slowly and softly. Instead of using the tactics, say, Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin, among many others used, they use a more sneaky, underhanded method of murdering its population. The United States, England, all of them. They do things like put fertility, or shall I say, anti-fertility drugs in the water and in a lot of the preservatives for your food. They do things like put nuclear power plants in places that are very stupid if it weren't the intent for these things to end up killing lots of people. What the most powerful people have planned has been planned for a long time. Now, a lot of people want you to believe that Donald Trump has these people on the ropes and they're going down, but nothing could be further from the truth. You think about an individual like Jacob Rothschild, or one of them people, one of the Rothschild guys. They literally have the power to have the United States nuked. They have the power to have anything done they wish to be done. They control the world's currencies, just about all of them. And make no mistake about it, they are the top of the fucking pyramid. Then you got microwaves. I'm talking about soft kills, different ways they softly and quietly and slowly kill you. Then you have the microwaves from your cell phones and from your microwave oven and from the cell phone towers, frying you, literally frying you, killing your cells. I know it's difficult today to not use a cell phone or be around microwaves. I mean, if you have a Wi-Fi network in your home, which, you know, a very large portion of the country does. I do. I'm not very well off. Actually, I'm not well off at all. I still have a Wi-Fi network, so and there's so many different ways. Take your corn, for example. If it's not organically grown corn, the chances are it is a product of Monsanto or Syngenta, which specialize in genetically modified seeds, where the poison is grown right into the product. And if a bug comes up and bites it, they die. Now, what do you suppose a lifetime of eating these corn products will do to a person? Which brings me to my next point. You know, you see, all these things are things that slowly kill you. And that's a problem. they are too slow. All the different lab-made diseases, like AIDS, they take too long. These people want this shit done now. They're tired of waiting. Which is why you see Russia and the United States and China charging head-on into World War III over Syria. Oh, I forgot to mention Israel's role as well. In Saudi Arabia, all these places, all the allies of the United States are playing a key role in pushing to get World War IV started. I call it World War IV because in a document known as Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, they flat out say that World War III is already underway and it's against the population of the United States. If you don't believe me, look it up. Anything I'm telling you right now can be verified by multiple sources. So, just to repeat which this is not the word I was looking for at the moment, but to summarize what I've just said, there's a document that says that the American people are the enemy. They're using quiet weapons for a silent war. The weapons that they're using is your air, your food, your water, products that you buy to wash your hair, soft drinks, you name it. Anything that is heavily marketed to you is meant to kill you. But again, it's not working fast enough. So they got to do something else. They got to do something else that works a little bit faster. Well, there's a reason why all these billionaires are buying up land in other countries as well as this one, making highly fortified bunkers and going to them on a regular basis. Of course, they do know something we don't. They probably have a date. Or, if not a date, a decent estimation. We don't have that luxury, you see. Look at 9/11. Well, there were people that knew that shit was going to happen. So, make no mistake about it. When the big event happens, the event that is meant to kill a huge portion of the population in America, And not just America, but I'm focusing on America because that's where I live. It'd be just like that. They will get emails saying, "Hey, you might want to retreat to your location this weekend." There'll be no other details in the email. Say something just like that. Just like on 9/11 when people were warned not to fly to New York. When people were warned not to go to work that day. So if you're delusioned and you really believe the government is caring and gives a shit about what happens to you, nothing could be further from the truth. What they have in mind for you is depopulation, death. In the 20th century, they killed, the last estimate, and of course it has changed, it has gone upward, as I just read, but it was somewhere along a quarter 250 million people, or 65 million, something like that. It was a lot. And that number has gone up the more research that gets done. Now, if you were to look at history, look in your Bible, your Quran, all your religious books, you'll see that it's always been the government, the leadership, that has caused the most death, the most harm to the populations and the environment that we live in. And I'm just talking to you all from off the top of my head. I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit down and write a script, although I have a few times done so. But I feel that I do better when I'm not reading from a screen. So if I get a little off course, that's the reason. So, what are they doing to ensure that this many people are going to die in a short period of time? Well, they are starting a world war. And they're intentionally starting a world war. See, before this video, I recorded another video and forgot to turn the mic on, so of course I scrapped the video. But in that video, I went over all the ways the United States is, and its allies, Israel, Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom, you name it. All the ways that they are pushing Russia to the breaking point, and China. Now, China's military, it's huge, but they are undertrained and very distracted. In other words, they're not very disciplined. But Russia's army, on the other hand, their military, I think the Russian military would give the Chinese military some motivation. I mean, what do these people care? Because they're not going to be here. They're going to be in their bunkers somewhere else. Now, in my last channel, I tried to make videos regarding what to do in the event of a nuclear detonation. And I was going through the FEMA manuals and a couple of others, but the problem was that they blatantly lied about the damage that would be caused and the cost to the survivors. So I stopped making those videos because I did not want to give you information that was inadequate. Anytime you're in a situation and there's a recommended strategy, you go far, far above that recommended strategy. But there's a reason why there's thousands of United Nations soldiers currently living on our soil. There's a reason why there is a large stockpile of their vehicles and other equipment. There's a reason why your local sheriff's department and police department has been giving weapons of war such as armored personnel carriers. There's a reason why Homeland Security, among other government agencies, have stockpiled billions of rounds of ammunition and rifles, iodine, food, you name it. There's a reason why the government has built in many places internment and resettlement camps. That's what they call them. There's a reason why. And it isn't because they fucking love you. These things are all going to be used to kill you. They, a long time ago, declared war on the population of the United States. And nobody has known about it. Because it's because they're using silent weapons. Because they want the war to be quiet. They do have other methods of killing us, which is your local police department, sheriff's department. How many people have they killed? Far, far more than any in all of the mass shooters. Which isn't such a quiet way, right? But you get these people, these law and order types. They got what they deserve for trying to run. They shouldn't have had a cell phone in their hand. So on and so forth. All the excuses. Then you got chemtrails where shit falls down to the earth, you inhale it, and God fucking only knows what it's doing to us. From what I understand, there's been people that's captured what's fallen from the sky after the planes have sprayed, and let me tell you, it's some pretty nasty shit. Dried blood cells, lithium, aluminum, and so on and so forth. Hey, you keep thinking you're making a difference when you go to the poll booth. You keep thinking you're making a difference when you go and protest. You keep thinking they give two shits about your fucking idiotic opinion. Why do I call it idiotic? Because it is idiotic to keep doing the same old shit after you've gotten no results. Sorry. That's the way it is. You're protesting. Your peaceful solutions are no solutions. These people are fucking serial killers. The cops on your police departments are fucking serial killers. You can't deal with serial killers through peace. Let me remind you that a lot of these politicians are Luciferian. Just look up what their doctrine is. I'm just saying, people. While you worry about some junkies overdosing, we have people every day, 24 hours a day, trying to kill us all. And it would be a whole lot easier for them to do so if the American people were disarmed. Anyway, I thought I would share my thoughts on this matter. I hope everyone thinks about what I'm talking about here. I really do. So I was gonna sit here and bore you with all the statistics and the numbers and go through each fine detail with you, but I think by now it's probably pretty evident. Now, if I were in the leadership of some sort of resistance, what would be the first thing I would do to help the cause? It's the first thing. Perhaps make it difficult for broadcasting to occur. Just a thought. If I were the leader of some kind of resistance. You could be sure some shit would be happening. But anyway, think about that. These people have killed more people than disease. They've killed more people than mass shooters. They've killed more people than drug overdoses. They're not going to stop. You think we're going to ever live on a planet where people can live in peace as long as these governments exist? Roads can be built without government. Children can be educated without government. People can prosper without government. We don't need them. They do nothing but harm everywhere they are. No matter how free you supposedly are. That'd be step one. Make it hard for propaganda to spread. Anyway, hope everyone has a good day. And remember, kill the state before the state kills you.